Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a new video. So I just did the most amazing and satisfying wash of any car that I've ever owned ever. I ended up using the quick jacks and jacked the car up, took the wheels off, and I did a full thorough car wash with the wheels off, so I was able to scrub the coilovers and just the wheel liners and everything, and very, very satisfying. The main reason why I had the wheels off in the first place is because I ended up doing the brake pads, which is actually going to be the next video. So be sure to stay tuned for that. I love doing that kind of stuff and kind of walking you guys through the process. But what we're actually going to be doing in this video is something that I've already done on the car, but I'm revisiting it so I can make it a little better. So this right here is my Uniden R7 radar. This is the radar that I've been using for a few years now. Absolutely love it. And the way that I like to mount my radars in my car is on a mirror mount. The main reason is because it tucks it up very nicely to the mirror, keeps it out of the way, and I use a wire tap that taps into the back of the mirror so I can get power. So this is usually plugged in, but I had it unplugged just for now. But once it's plugged in, it turns on and turns off with the car and everything. Now, the one that I've been using and that is currently on the car is the same mirror mount and wire tap that I've used in multiple cars. I actually have the same exact one in my truck, which is nice. I love it. I had the same one in my STI, loved it. And when I got the M3, I had this one left over from the STI, so I threw it in here, and it's been working just fine ever since. Very, very reasonable priced option for the mirror mount and the mirror wire tap. I think it was like 40, 45 bucks or so. So very, very reasonable. However, I was never a big fan of how low this hung from the mirror. So this is a good, what, like 4 inches or so. And it just doesn't look as clean as I normally like it. I usually like it tucked up a little bit closer to the mirror and also a little bit further back. So the screen is kind of flush with the mirror. And the reason why I couldn't do it with this mount is because of this right here. This is, I have the front cameras on the car and the 360 camera and everything. So that's why this plastic area, the box here, is different than if you didn't have the cameras. The non-camera cars have a much smaller area here, you know, this whole entire piece. So you're able to kind of tuck this up much closer. But my main concern is when I'm driving, this is actually kind of in my line of sight, which is kind of annoying because I'm kind of finding myself trying to look around it when I'm turning and everything and kind of looking to the right. So it's kind of a pain in the butt. It gets the job done, but I know there was a better option out there, so I started looking into it. So taking the next step up, you guys may have heard of a brand called Blendmount. Blendmount is a very, very high quality mirror mount system for your radars, for your dash cams, for multiple different types of things that you like to use in your cars. I've always wanted to get one of these, but I could just never pony up because I was always so happy with the $40 one from Amazon. But since I was having kind of some issues with that one, with it being too low and hanging too far out and just not as close as I would like it, I was like, you know what, let me check out the blend mount, let me see what it's like, and let me pony up. So this alone was about 150 or 160 bucks. Pretty wild, but I will say the overall quality, craftsmanship of this is very, very, very nice. And the really cool thing is they have different mounts and everything for the different mirror stems and different cars. So it is a really, really nice looking piece. And there's a ton of adjustability. You can, move it back and forth. You can adjust it up and down, and a ton of adjustments. The other one, really, you're kind of limited. It's going to bring it much closer to the mirror. It's going to push it more even with the mirror as well. And not to mention, it's just going to look way cleaner and just to look a little bit better. So yes, I know this one's a little bit pricey, but I know it's worth it. I know a lot of people use these in their M3s, especially with the cameras as well, and it just looks way cleaner. So we're gonna go ahead and install this. I'll show you how to do it. It's very, very simple. As you can see, it's just some Allen screws. It is included as well in the kit, the little Allen key, as well as some zip ties and everything. Now, I already have a video on installing the radar, so if you're curious on how to do the wire tap for the mirror for power, go back and check the video in the top right corner. I go over all that, show you the exact wires to pin into and everything. But for this video, we're just going to simply install this, and I'm going to show you how much better it looks. So let's go ahead. Let's get the cheapo Amazon one out, and then I'll kind of do a little comparison so I can show you the differences, and then we can get to installing the new blend mount. All right, so we got the mirror mount out of the M3, and this is what it looks like. So as you can see, there's only two ways to adjust it, this little ball and this one. So essentially you can move it up, and you can move this little lever up and down as well, but you can't move it side to side, and you can't really adjust it too much more. Also, another thing that wasn't crazy about this method is if you look on the inside here, the clamp, there's some teeth, which is good because it holds into place, but if you do it too tight, you can kind of damage the little mirror stock that this clamps onto. So luckily mine's not damaged. I didn't do it too tight where it would kind of bite into the plastic and cause any damage. But yeah, there it is. Nothing special. Again, it's held up great over the years, but this one is just going to be so much better. And I really like the way this clamps on. As you can see, you don't have to remove the screw completely in order to get this clamp over the stem of the mirror. This, you just loosen this and it clamps right on, and you're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and install this, show you all the adjustments and kind of how much better it looks. And yeah, so let's get ahead and get in the car and get this on. So to install it, you actually want to remove the side bolts here to get the lower piece off. In order to loosen or open this clamp up, you're going to want to unscrew this one that's closest to the clamp, so you gain access and allow this to open enough. So now that we got it open enough, we're going to slip it onto the stem behind the mirror and then tighten this down so it clamps into place. All right, now we're going to take the actual clamp for the radar and screw it back into place. So it's going to be like this. So as you can see, well, kind of hard to see with my hands in the way, but the radar is going to be sitting back so much further, and we're going to have some great access. So let me go ahead and put those screws back in. All right, there we go, guys. Look how much better that looks. So much closer to the mirror, as well as pushed so much far back. The other one was, as you guys saw, was like out to here. So way more tucked out of the way. I'm very, very happy with it. I will admit it did take a lot of trial and error to kind of get the angle right, to get the height right. But that is the greatest part about this, is you can adjust so many different ways to get it to exactly where you want. So as you can see, it's about, I don't know, an inch away from the little light right here. So way better. Now I can tuck this wire up a little bit more into this box here, but I'm gonna leave it loose so there's not too much tension. And plus I've been transferring this over from my truck to the M3, whichever car that I am driving. I do plan on picking up another one eventually. I may pick up a R8, which is the latest and newest one, but right now I'm just using the R7 between both cars. So I want to have some slack so it's easy to kind of take in and out. So yeah, there we go. Really nice. So much better. Look how much closer it is to the actual mirror. And I left a little space between the little tab there and this. I didn't want it touching because I didn't want that to scrape or scratch the plastic here, but so much better. All right, so here it is from the driver's position. As you can see, it's just so much better, and this is kind of where my eyes are on the car. And then if I come over here, I have so much more visibility under here. This is not as much in the way. So way better. And it's nice and level and even. It took a lot of trial and error, as I mentioned, because you can move it this way, you can move it up and down, you can angle it to wherever you need it. And I found after a few different variations and different tries, I got it in the right spot. Now the only, I guess, bad part about it is that if you want to make an adjustment on the back screws there, you got to kind of redo everything. So you have to loosen the side screws over here, you have to loosen the back screws. So it's one of those things, if you make one adjustment, it changes basically the whole thing. So it's just a lot of back and forth. I was going from the driver's seat to the passenger seat, driver's seat, passenger seat, back and forth, and I finally got it right. And the good thing is it is so sturdy on there that it is not going anywhere, so it's not going to loosen or anything. They also have lock washers on there, so it is definitely staying put until obviously I take it off. Looks so much better back there on the clamp, on the mirror stock right there. As you can see, it's not causing any damage or anything. It's just gripped on super nicely, and I still have full adjustability of the mirror and everything. The other one, you almost had to have the mirror in a certain position because of the clamps were so much larger that when you were kind of moving it around, you were kind of limited to where you can move it. So now I have full adjustability in the mirror. It's tucked up nicely, and I think it just looks way better. Also, I wanted to mention, got a nice fan for the garage. It feels fantastic. It is remote controlled. My wife actually got it for me for Father's Day, which is really nice. I used to have one up on the wall mounted, but I was never a big fan of it because it had the control wire hanging down. And I don't know. I just never was a big fan of it. It did its job, but this one is so much better because I can angle it down wherever angle, and obviously it's not permanent. But the nice part about it is I have a remote, so I can change the speed, which it blows some serious air, which is pretty crazy. And obviously you can turn it off with this, which is really nice. But that is what you're hearing in the background. Super nice. Makes the whole entire space that much cooler and that much better to work in. So if you are interested in that, I will leave a link below. You guys can pick one up. It moves a lot of air for how small of a fan that is. All right, so I am gonna wrap it up here, short and sweet. Figured I would show you that since I did show you the install of the radar when I first put it in with the Amazon mirror mount that I got here. You guys can use this one, honestly. It does a great job, but as you saw, it was really limited with the adjustments that I was able to do on this mirror, on this car. On my truck, as I mentioned, I use the same one, but it was I'm able to bring it much closer since it doesn't have that little camera in the way. But Blendmount, very, very happy with it. Yes, it is pricey, but if you're running into a situation like I am and you have these same cameras and everything on your M3 and you need something a little bit better and a little bit closer to the mirror, highly recommend the Blendmount. The quality and everything is amazing. A lot of adjustments so you can get it absolutely perfect. But yeah, so as I mentioned, the next video, we're going to be installing the Akabono ceramic brake pads. So I'm going to walk you through that entire process, obviously bedding in the brakes and everything, and letting you guys know my initial review and what I think, because obviously going to a ceramic pad is a little bit different than the OEM pads. So I'll give you guys a little bit of a kind of initial review and my thoughts on everything and if it's worth it. So that's gonna do it for this one, guys. I will leave a link below for the blend mount as well as the fan if you guys are interested. Also the radar and the mirror tap, also that one as well if you are interested. But if you guys have any questions at all about the car, the mount, anything else, please leave it in the comments below. But in the meantime, keep it clean, keep it simple. I'll catch you guys in the next one.